Salt Lake City. Robert's out in Bakersfield, California. Ashley's in Minot, North Dakota. Dean's in Memphis. And you can always leave us messages there, too, if you like. Your Cleveland Guardians are playing tonight. It's the second of 4. They lost by 1 run last night to the Twins in Minnesota. And so they get another crack at them tonight. 8:10 is the first pitch. 7:40 is when that pregame will get rolling. Twins Guardians here on WMMS and on the iHeartRadio app. And now that we're in June, you can use the promo code SUMMER for the next 29 days for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. Whatever you want to get over there, whether you're going to do it online, whether you're going to do it in one of their stores, save yourself a bit of cash and use SUMMER as your promo code. Guardians News that they're probably going to trade Shane Bieber. Is that something that's going to rock the team, or is that something where they're trying to...
It's a bummer because he's a great pitcher, but it's just one of those realistic things that they have to do being a mid-level team because he's going to get a huge contract in the offseason of probably $300 or $400 million.
I see.
And
wow, good for him.
And not everybody's going to do what J-Ram did, where he took a pretty significant pay cut to stay in Cleveland.
Yeah, he really wanted to stay here.
Appreciate Jose Ramirez that much more.
Sure. But he's kind of a unicorn in that way, too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys aren't willing to do that. Nor should they, quite frankly. I mean, it's cool that he did. But
Andres Jimenez kind of did the same thing, so appreciate both those guys.
Well, I like that Tristan McKenzie. I know he's been real hot and cold, but I like what he's doing. I like him a lot. But, the Guardians traded Clevenger at the trade deadline. They traded Trevor Bauer a couple years before that. So they're saying that Shane Bieber will probably get passed to somebody before the trade deadline, which is on August the 1st, rather. He's 28. I thought he was a lot younger than that. But how long has he been in Cleveland? He didn't get drafted by the Guardians.
Shane Bieber, yes.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yes, he came up through the system, and then I think he's been in the major leagues for 5 years now.
Okay.
Because I saw him, what was that fest in Columbus that we did a few years ago? Whiskey Bear Fest. We went to a Clippers game, and I saw him pitch in the Clippers game, and then he got called up to the big leagues a little bit.
I see. Well, he's set to become a free agent in 2025, so he'll probably be dealt to somebody. I haven't read anything about who the usual suspects might be or any interested parties, but I guess if you're talking, it narrows the field if you're talking about $200, $300 million. There's only a handful of teams that are going to shell that kind of cash out. So, but I hadn't been paying close enough attention this season to know if he had been producing or not.
I mean, the whole team's kind of having a down year, but I mean, he's still a good pitcher, and a lot of the problems that he's having aren't his problems. It's run support, where if he were getting more runs,
he can only do so much.
Yeah, he'd probably have a better record.
They're not hitting, they're not getting runs. Maybe they're getting the runs. Could that be an issue? I hate to. It is well-tread ground, but I hate to admit, for people who have never heard this show before, how common of a through line diarrhea is on this program. And so it's always kind of top of mind. And I wonder, you're out there, God, you're wearing the white polyester pants, even if they're cotton. I mean, you don't want to have any kind of accidents. I always thought that was why so many guys slid into a base on their butt so they could say, I might not have gotten a run, but this way I can mask if I've got any gastrointestinal distress out there.
Having some problems.
Right. Maybe I'm thinking too far into it. I don't know. But there might be something there.
I mean, they wrote that song for a reason.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to spray.
I was thinking more like when you're
sliding into first.
You feel a little burst.
Feel a little burst. Diarrhea. When you're sliding into third. See, the nothing rhymes with second. Do you steal second and then you go to third for the rhyme and then home for the rhyme? There's nothing that rhymes with second that I've ever heard in that song, right? Everybody goes from first to third, which is not how the game is played. Not even in the diarrhea version of the game. You can't just skip bases because there's no rhyme.
When you're sliding into two and you got a juicy poo. Right?
Mary Santora cracked the code. That wouldn't even occurred to me. But there it is, yeah. Uh-huh.
Hello? Anybody there?
We're here.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
You know who this is?
Kind of sounds like Ghostbag.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, how are you? You never called to talk to me.
Well, guess what?
What?
That was me behind you on stage last night.
Ghost bag.
That's right. I'd never seen you perform before, baby. I figured Poundcake ain't doing much recently. He got a boyfriend, so there's not much going on with him in his room. There's not so much wacky, so I figured I'd venture out and see what everybody else is doing.
Did you have a good time?
Eh.
Hey.
But, listen, it's not your fault. My card got declined at the bar, and I left a bad taste in my mouth.
Unreal.
I know.
Wait a minute. I didn't know you had facial hair. You have dark facial hair?
I can change my face to whatever somebody wants to see.
Is it just like the way the bag's printed?
That's exactly how the way the bag's printed, that's right. It looks like I got a mustache. Somebody, before the bag became me, somebody wrote all over it with a black Sharpie, so sometimes it just looks like there's a mustache there, but that's not really what was going on.
Oh, boy. Well, I have a question, though, because you usually show up with Cody for sexy time. Is that what you were expecting at this show, or were you just trying to...
No, I wasn't expecting sexy time at the show, but I had never seen you perform before, and I heard that the show was sold out, so I couldn't get a seat, so I got up behind you on stage.
Nice.
I hope you don't mind.
No. Did you like it?
Did you feel me breathing on your neck?
I was pretty sweaty, but I thought it was just because I had a jacket on.
That was me.
It was you.
Yeah. Well, it's part breathing, part farts.
Oh, come on.
Hey, fart your farts.
That's why I was
Even
so
if you're a
hot.
ghost.
Not on people.
No, if you're a ghost, it doesn't matter. You don't know.
They didn't smell.
Well, yeah, I'm a ghost. I mean, you're not gonna see them or smell them, but trust me, they're there.
Yeah. Well, were you the one talking to the medium then?
I was. Boy, she did not get any of her. I was up back there throwing her signals like Johnny Bench, and she wasn't picking any of them up. She could have been 10 for 10 if she just paid attention to me. And she didn't. She got them all. She thought she's all that. She gonna do it by herself.
So you were giving correct signals.
Yeah.
You weren't feeding her bad information, because I know you are a troublemaker.
I'm not a troublemaker. I'm doing my thing. You know how I do. I just like to hang out. But and I told Poundcake, I need a break from you. And so I took a break from him.
Oh.
You're too tired.
I just want to see what's going on out there.
Well, he's not really two-timing because he didn't show up during my sexy time. He showed up professionally.
Yeah, he's never showed up professionally for me.
Well, you don't do anything.
That's not the point. Show up professionally for me. Sit in here with
But
me
how
while...
do I show up if you don't do anything? I ain't going to your job, dummy. I want to see her crack some jokes.
Fine.
Now, the only problem was, since she was facing away from me, I couldn't hear any of it. Her voice was going out the opposite direction. So all I heard was just... That's all. I didn't hear anything. I heard a lot of people laughing. But anyway, I just wanted to let you... I wanted to let you know that was me.
It was you.
That was me.
Case closed.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then I stuck around playing Pac-Man for a while, so that was good.
You kind of look like Pac-Man.
Well, it's a lot of my cousins work for that game, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it.
Shut up, Bill.
What? I said I get it. I like the joke.
Ah, dude, you son of a bitch.
Or the reference.
Okay, I gotta go.
Where are you going now?
I'm going on tour with Dane Cook. I'll see you guys later.
You're the ghost of his career.
No, come on, Dane Cook's back. What are you talking about? The ghost, he's got a 19-year-old fiance, and
She's got to be 19
he's doing
and a half
great.
by now.
Yeah, gotta be 19 and a half, probably 20, 21.
Is there something wrong with that? Because that's hot.
Huh?
I said,
That's hot?
yeah.
He's
Well,
50.
no, I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I
Maybe
mean,
19
she's
and a half with birth
she's
and hips.
legal, and birth and hips is what he wants. Very important to Poundcake. The birth and
Birth
hips.
them
Birth
hips.
and hips. No, I don't even know if they're still together, but I know that they made a big show of it for a while.
How does
That they were together, and he
I think
was he's 51 years old, and I think she was 19 when they started to.
How does a 19-year-old meet a Dane Cook?
He's famous and she's hot.
Right. Yeah.
I know, but was it at a coffee shop? Like, was
Nope.
she waiting outside of his hotel room and while he was walking out?
It was probably some sort of party. Or
Not a DM.
For a DM,
Maybe a DM, yeah.
Oh, I
You
forgot.
get them
Yeah.
DMs,
We're in
yeah.
the digital age. You don't have to wait outside someone's. You can metaphorically wait outside someone's hotel room.
Okay, so she's not that young. It says, let's see.
Well, when they got together, they were
right,
yeah.
because it says she's 26 years younger than he is. So she's 25 now, but they've been together for 6 years. Right. So he was late 40s and she was 19 years old. But listen, man, he lost a lot of his money. He just wanted somebody to make him feel like a cool guy again, right? He wasn't out doing stand-up for a while. He kind of, I don't know, he wasn't as white hot as he once was. You want somebody that's going to make you feel like a superstar again.
He's not.
And she just happened to be 19 years old.
He's not hideous. I'd hit it.
Well, he is pasty and white, and you do like that.
I loved him. Loved him.
I need him with the facial hair, though, not without. He looks like a murderer without the facial hair.
Well, he has an odd combination of looking just weird enough, but also just attractive enough, where he looks like a really amazing good-looking guy in a bit of a funhouse mirror. But that's enough to get you through when you're like white hot like he was 15 years ago.
There's one picture.
And having all kinds of, he was probably neck deep in college girls.
He did a college tour and filmed it for HBO.
There you go. You got to talk to your audience. You got to fish where the fish are.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be tan and with facial hair, and then he'll be up to my standards.
Oh, yeah?
Skeleton face and white is not enough.
Skeleton face and white. That's right.
This is how studious our customers are. In the chat on the YouTube stream, someone said Mary did say on the show about the firstborn, and it's May 4th, part 8, 7:56 minutes in.
Get up.
7 minutes and 56 seconds in. So yeah, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
I remember Dane Cook and Bobby Kelly getting stuff thrown at them 30 years ago. At that, I'm sure they've both told that story. I don't know if Bobby's ever told it here, but they were doing a thing for WBCN, which for a long, long time was a classic, not a classic rock station, but like a legendary rock station in Boston. And they were the comedians between Spin Doctors and Fish. And you guys know this. When people aren't expecting comedians,
they don't want
them. They so they were throwing shoes and lighters at these guys, and they got off stage. But
we're here for the Spin Doctors. Aren't you guys supposed to be pretty chill? We'll be chill when the Spin Doctors are on.
The Spin Doctors are chill. The Spin Heads are not. Little Miss can be wrong.
Yeah, Spin Patients, I believe they're called.
There you go. But
Spin Doctors. What an interesting thing.
Spin Doctors were legit. If you hear the Spin Doctors now, the only reason that they kind of fell off the rails there is because that singer got like throat cancer or something, because I think now they're like doing some shows. But man, that band, as far as like musicianship, they were friggin' tight.
Oh yeah, they're a very good band, but it was also just such a 90s sound where it wouldn't have worked in the 80s. I don't think it would have worked in the 70s, but in the 90s, it just hit and you couldn't get enough of it. And those songs were on all
it wasn't
the
even
time.
It wasn't even post grunge. I mean, they were pre Nirvana, so it was kind of like Spin Doctors was kind of coming out of.
Well, kind of.
I don't know what they were coming out of, but it was still kind of very much. It was the tail end of hair metal, and But yeah, Chris Barron, who married an actress at he was married to somebody, I forget who, but those kinds of bands, jammy kind of bands. There was like Blues Traveler and Spin Doctors. They would go out, and
they just had such a big following in the New York City scene where they'd go and play bars every night and pack the place out.
Yeah,
and so people they were like a homegrown phenomenon in New York City, and it kind of came out of that art and, like you said, jam band scene, and then they got all these huge radio hits.
Yeah,
and without them,
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah, without them, would we even have ever heard of Rusted Root? I don't think so.
I would have, because I lived in Pittsburgh for so long, and they were a local band. But you get Rusted Root shoved down your throat. No, Chris Barron was married to an actress named Laura Benanti, who's, I think, super foxy. She's mostly done stage, but you've probably seen her in television shows and things. But, yeah, spin doctors. Good for them. I was reading about Lizzo. She is, Lizzo was just here, right? A couple of weeks ago, Lizzo did the Romo Fijo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girls in her feels, boy. She's like, I got to get off social media. It's like, this is not healthy for me. Again, any person you talk to, famous or not, will tell you how much more their life has improved once they removed social media from it. But she says she's starting to hate the world and is thinking of quitting music because of all the abuse that she receives online about her weight.
Dude, I believe it. People are ruthless, man. And it's not as easy to just tune out as you guys say it is.
Well, no, we don't say that. I mean, before the internet, you know, if you got beat up at school, you went home and you were fine. Now you can't escape it.
Right.
I mean, it is one thing. I mean, you can take the step of removing yourself from those platforms or blocking the comments or whatever. I mean, the things that people will send to you online, they would never tell you in person. So in, you know, IRL, people aren't going to come up to you and tell you that. But yeah, it just sucks.
It does suck. And it's just born out of other people's insecurities where they feel like tearing someone else down makes them feel like they have some power. And
somehow Nicole Byer deals with it. And nobody gets anything over on her, boy. She's like, give me all you got and I'll take more. But Lizzo's having a hard time.
But I'm guessing, you know, even if she is saying she's handling it, there's some part of her that's like, man, that's annoying.
Probably in therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's just annoying, too.
Nicole Byer is not as big of a celebrity as Lizzo.
Yeah.
Lizzo's like worldwide. I don't think Nicole Byer's worldwide.
No, understood. But I'm just saying, if you are a person who is of sizable carriage, I mean, you're going to get a lot of people giving you a hard time.
But also, the thing is, everyone that's fat knows they're fat. So pointing it out seems very redundant. And I know Lizzo goes out there and she does like the body positivity or she'll wear like revealing clothing, but why does it bother people so? Like, let her wear what she wears. It doesn't hurt anybody.
I don't know that it necessarily bothers them so much as it's just such an easy go-to.
Yes.
It's just the first thing they can go to.
There's no consequence at all. It doesn't even take a second of your time to see a picture, leave a terrible comment, and move on. And you have moved on, but the person you sent the comment to is sitting there watching thousands of other people who did the same thing.
Right.
Dropped something awful and then moved on with their day, not even giving it a second thought. You know, there's a giant mailbox and you're just dropping turds in it. And that person comes home and go, "Oh, let's see if I got any mail." Oh, it's all turds.
Ooh.
Imagine coming home and your mailbox is full of turds. It's what I'm trying to say.
That'd be so upsetting for me because I know that they were put there by the mail carrier.
Because you have an indoor mailbox.
Because I have an indoor mailbox where
Yeah.
you have like the in the building where they got to open. They have that key to open it all up.
Yep.
So sorry.
If you have an outdoor mailbox where it can, this time of year, where it can steam in the sun,
Ugh.
you get a little bit of a notice because when you walk up to the mailbox, you'll see it dripping from the bottom.